shoulders, whose dreams are evermore.
What do you think of when you think of Chicago? The architecture, the lake, the blues, the nightlife, the wild life, the good life, high stakes, tough breaks, a good-looking town. In the past 20 years, many Chicagoans have been thinking about theater, the thrill of live performance. With its prize-winning playwrights, acclaimed actors, and rugged, energetic style, critics around the world have called Chicago the theater center of America. A natural outgrowth of all this theatrical activity was Chicago's first International Theater Festival in 1986. More than 60,000 theater-goers enjoyed a variety of foreign productions as well as our own homegrown work. The first International Theater Festival brought the world to Chicago.
These theater festivals give us an opportunity to know what's going on in the world, how they adapt to theater, what their approach to theater is, what their stories are.
I was amazed at the variety of companies that I knew that I may never see in the world.
And I think it's because the world has become so small. It's one of the most educational and exciting experiences I know of.
So when I saw them, I saw things that I felt I was experiencing. It would be a one-of-a-kind thing that was happening right there.
I understand, I heard someplace that there's going to be another theater festival in Chicago, and there was one last year, and we didn't take advantage of it.
Okay, well, we can put you on our mailing list.
The popularity of the first festival led to the creation of a second, scheduled for April and May of 1988.
Okay, sure.
A lot of work is required to make a festival, to bring the venues, the companies, and the audiences together.
Monday morning around 10, and we're going to go over all the stuff for the corporate box.
Good. Now, you talked about them. I didn't talk about
Festival Executive Director Jane Nichols-Sollins is one of the founders of the International Festival,
And basically, I'm
along with co-founder Bernard Sollins.
laying out our general plan.
Mr. and Mrs. Sollins, I have trouble sometime getting a lunch date put together. How did you do this with all of the languages and all the logistics?
This is a city of possibilities.
The Sollinses and Associate Director Pam Marsden travel the world recruiting foreign theater companies. They search for the creative, the new, and the entertaining. Before this spring, Americans would have had to go to the Soviet Union to see the State Theater of Lithuania, which brings 2 productions to Chicago. Uncle Vanya, Chekhov's classic comic drama about the decay of an aristocratic family. Pirismani, the story of a Georgian folk artist whose primitivist works brought him worldwide acclaim only after his death. Chicago's own world-class theaters are gearing up to participate in the International Festival. The beautiful Royal George Theater will host the State Theater of Lithuania. Also at the Royal George, Barry McGovern of the Gate Theater in Dublin performs the darkly comic I'll Go On, based on the writings of Samuel Beckett. The Goodman Theater, Chicago's oldest resident professional theater, will open the festival with Feydeau's delightful turn-of-the-century farce, A Flea in Her Ear, Now set in Paris in 1965, the production is directed by Michael Maggio and features Frank Galati. The acoustically perfect Chicago landmark, Louis Sullivan's Auditorium Theater, will play host to the festival's centerpiece attraction through the month of May, the first American appearance of the English Shakespeare Company. Founded to bring the classics to a wide audience and acclaimed for the vitality of its performance style, the English Shakespeare Company will present Shakespeare's monumental Wars of the Roses cycle. This fascinating production mixes the contemporary with the Elizabethan, jazz with madrigals, modern canons with ancient broadswords in tales of greed, ambition, murder, and lust. This historic theater event will be highlighted by a marathon weekend, May 13th through 15th, when all 7 plays can be seen in 3 days.
I think it's really terrific that we're going to be able to offer the customer food during the marathons, because now they don't have to worry about where they're going to eat when they buy their ticket, and we'll be able to tell them right in the brochure that they can eat lunch and dinner there, and they can book it ahead of time so they don't have to worry, it'll all be ready.
The Park West nightclub is the setting for Spain's most popular touring ensemble, the Comedians. The Comedians' production of Allé is a carnival of color, dance, and music depicting the creation of the world. In a unique program, visiting artists are collaborating with resident companies in new works for the festival. Gary Hines, artistic director of the Druid Theatre in Ireland, will direct the Body Politic Ensemble and Tom Murphy's A Whistle in the Dark, a family drama set in strife-ridden Ireland. Victory Gardens hosts Pat Van Himmelrich, the Belgian Buster Keaton, in a one-man machine-age vaudeville called Toot Sweet. South Africa's Junction Avenue Theatre Company and Market Theatre presents Sophia Town.
Sophia Town was called the Chicago of South Africa in the 50s.
Oh, right.
And it's about the gangsters and a Jewish woman who moves to a multiracial community in Johannesburg. And it's a play with music.
I'd like to see
Supposed to be fabulous.
Yeah.
Sophia Town, an exuberant play with music, set in the early years of apartheid.
We're going to bring it to the Royal George.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's going to be part of the festival.
Yep.
All right.
The University of Illinois at Chicago will be home for 2 productions. From France, the company of famed director Patrice Bigel presents Circuit Clandestin, a montage of illusion evoking the luminaries of 1950s Hollywood.
J'ai rêvé de grand vent.
The Rail, presented by Canada's award-winning Carbon 14 Ensemble, combines popular music, opera, and nightmarish imagery to depict a world ravaged by war.
There's no life like it. Yes, there's no life like it.
When he had closed the door of the compartment, she brushed down her blue dress and moved herself into a more comfortable and seemly position. She glanced at the soldier opposite, who had joined her in the compartment while she slept, felt herself blush as she met his stare.
The Chicago Theater Company teams with South African playwright and Obie Award-winning actress Gina Mushlope. Mushlope directs Have You Seen Zandile, a powerful portrait of the relationship between a young South African woman and her grandmother. The Court Theater presents playwright Mustafa Matura's comedy Playboy of the West Indies, a retelling of the Playboy of the Western world with a Trinidadian twist. A special added attraction will be Robert Wilson's The Knee Plays. Wilson, considered one of this generation's most boldly experimental directors, originally conceived The Knee Plays as curtain raisers connecting acts of his opera, The Civil Wars. Now presented separately, the plays borrow freely from No, Bunraku, and Kabuki Japanese theater forms, with words and music by David Byrne of the Talking Heads. In 1986, the festival presented free educational and community programs. By popular demand, even more are scheduled this year. Special lectures, workshops, post-show discussions, films, and performances provide a unique opportunity for artists and audiences to get to know each other.
It's a wonderfully exciting time to know that we are once again going to have the International Theater Festival here in Chicago. From a creative point of view, I think it offers both our artists and our audiences to see theater as they would not normally be able to see in their own backyards. But what's even more important is I think it also offers all of our artists a chance to interact with the variety of theatrical work that's happening around the world.
In a sense, our coming here is repaying the compliment of the Chicago actors and plays which are increasingly coming, as they should, across the Atlantic. And the more exchange there is between theatre people, I think the more good is done than can ever be done by politicians traveling across the place, you know.
I think that we all learn from each other, and I think that the more good theater there is, the more good theater there will be.
And I hope that this year, after the successful performances at the theater, some of the performers will come and enjoy my good Italian lyrics.
Right.
Theater is live, theater is exciting. I like to see live things, I like to see it happen.
To me, the difference between live theater and going to see something in a movie is in live theater you actually become a part of what is going on.
It's real nice. It's real nice. You actually see live actors on stage.
I think theater to me has meant a learning process, an amusement process, entertaining. All the things that I need is combined in theater.
Well, I truly think that more people should take advantage of the theater. A lot of people are just happy just watching their VCR, so go to the theater. You have to.
I love theater. What else can I say?
I think people just have to get up and make it their business to see these things.
And it's pure, unadulterated pleasure.
Chicago, a theater town where you can see the best the world has to offer. But all the playhouses, all the actors, and all the scripts in the world can't become theater without one more element. The audience. That's where you come in. Have a seat. Be a part of the greatest month of theatrical entertainment in the world. The world is coming to your door, Chicago. Let them in and be delighted. The The second International Theater Festival of Chicago runs for 1 month only, from April 25th to May 29th, 1988. Newsletters and group tickets are available now by calling 664-3370. After February 15th, English Shakespeare Company marathon tickets and special 3-play series tickets go on sale. Visit our central box office at the Auditorium Theater on Michigan and Congress or call 644-FEST. Student and senior citizens discounts are available.
Oh, your heart's in 100 neighborhoods, and it beats with a pulse so strong. As you dance to a merry polka tune or the wail of a bluesman's song.
And your soul is the soul of the working man, with his million tales untold. You're the city of big shoulders, whose dreams are